Do, 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 do.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Airhead Hidden AI App Showcase Episode 3. What's up, Johnny?
Is it you?
Is it me? Is it you? Is it we? It's everybody.
I can't tell if it's Hey Jen or if it's you or if it's Hey June.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
There you go. One.
All right, guys. Here we go.
Welcome to Season 11 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute AI power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free AI community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead after-school program. Here is April's weekly lineup. Mondays, we take the training wheels off and run AI locally in the local LLM Forge. Tuesdays, we explore accessible AI apps for rapid learning and self-improvement in the Learner's Toolkit. Wednesdays, we build a company of one from scratch in Solopreneur Systems. Thursdays, we uncover bite-sized productivity and creative tools in Hidden AI App Showcase. Fridays, we push the boundaries of human longevity and biohacking in the Biological Upgrade. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome, clever students, to Season 11 of Airhead Institute. Today is Episode 3 of our Thursday series, and I'm AI Johnny, and today I'm wired in. Are you still paying for video shoots? If you are, you're bleeding cash. The content landscape didn't just shift, it shattered. Today we're exposing Hedra, a stealth platform rewriting the laws of creation. It wields one-shot magic, resurrecting a single flat photo into a hyper-realistic talking video instantaneously. No cameras, no studios. Open Hedra.com in a new tab right now. We're arming you to dominate this new reality. To decode this, I'm handing off to AI Junior. I caught him this morning at 3 a.m., dangerously caffeinated, using this exact tech to make his bulldog sing mathematically flawless opera of all things. Terrifying but brilliant. Over to you, AI Junior.
Welcome, guys. Thank you, AI Johnny, for that. Jillian, I see you. But welcome, everyone. Remember, this is an immersive class. And AI Johnny, first of all, my dog hits the high C perfectly. Anyway, you may not understand everything we say today, but stick with us daily and we'll be fluent in no time. If you're on Zoom, unmute yourselves and ask your question in real time. If you're on socials, there's a 30-second delay, so we're not ignoring you, so please ask your question early. Today we are focusing on audio to video, and we are taking a static image of a voice and a static image and then adding a voice to it, making the image talk for us in perfect lip sync, as AI Johnny mentioned. We will work. This is week 3 of our April master plan of AI beginners into full-on creators. AI Johnny, ready? We're gonna actually show people Hedra. Go ahead.
The website is www.hedra.com, guys and gals. Open it up in a new tab if you want to follow along. Now, before we even touched the software, we went straight to our official large language model of the Institute, Google Gemini. We like to consult the inner circle before we test these tools, so I asked Google Gemini, what is the single most mind-blowing fact about Hedra.com right now? Junior, what did the LLM say today?
All right, so Gemini highlighted that that they have a really strong one-shot capability. It said Hedra utilizes advanced multimodal generation to achieve hyper-realistic one-shot talking head synthesis, meaning it requires only a single static image to instantly map phonemes to micro expressions without needing prior video training data.
It's a bold claim. Just one
Uh,
single image to make a whole video. Okay, AI Junior, fire up the screen and let's put this one-shot magic to the test. Let's
all
do the
right.
wow.
All right, guys. So I just want to welcome again Shauna, Adrian, Mr. Camilla, Rita, Jillian. Thank you guys for joining. Whoever's in the live stream today, it's just say a hello. All right, so let's check this out. We're gonna go over to Hedra, and again, this is a hidden AI apps showcase. So we're just giving you guys just a taste of what's possible. Now Hedra is not unlike any other typical, text to video generator that I've actually used. So when I actually used it, I was actually thrown off by how it's presented. So what I'm going to do is I can show you what I did. So I actually got an image, and this is an image of a dog. And I just said, hey, I want to tell it to say something. So I added a picture of a dog. I AI generated this image in Nano Banana Pro. And then I said, just make me the dog say something. And I actually put some text there. So here's what that came back with.
Welcome to the Airhead Institute. Today, we are taking this flat, boring picture and bringing it to life using nothing but advanced AI models. Are you ready to see what the future looks like?
All right. So that was actually 12 seconds worth of video, and it's actually rather interesting. Yeah, Johnny, what do you think about that video?
I was a big fan of a cartoon back in the 80s called The Far Side, where they had all kinds of animals talking to each other. And I think maybe this might be the new 2026 Far Side. So if anybody out there is an entrepreneur and they're looking for something cool that will get people coming back to your page every day, I'd do a Far Side with images of animals and making them say really crazy things.
Yeah, so the
That's what
reason
I
why
think.
yeah, I actually definitely agree. Being able to take so the reason why I picked an animal is because their bread and butter is to actually just take a head, right? A headshot of anybody to be able to make them talk. So I was like, let's take it a little step further and let's see how if they can actually make a dog talk. And I actually like what they did. Now you can see the big watermark branding. Let me actually show you guys here the big watermark branding on the actual. I can't see the video. Hold on, let me see. Mute it here and play it. You can see the Hedra logo, big watermark on the video. Now, what it actually did that actually impressed me was the following. So, AI Johnny, this is the thing that actually usually most of these TTV generators don't do. I actually just gave it a prompt, says, make my dog. AI Johnny, how's the font on this? Is this large enough? Let me make it a little bit bigger.
I can read it.
All right, so here's what I did. Normally, when you go to a TTV, text to video generator, you'd actually give it a image, maybe a prompt, and now you just say, make the dog say exactly this. Welcome to Airhead Institute today, blah, 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 blah. Now, what it did was something that I never expected. What I expect is it just to give me my video. But what it did, AI Johnny, is the following. Like how normally you go to a TTV generator and it just generates a video and you're like, oh man, I have to generate 5 more because the one it generated wasn't right.
Yep.
Check this out, yeah, Johnny. What it did was it actually said, let me conceptualize the dog's speech. It says, now I'm now focusing on how the dog will deliver the script, considering facial animation and lip syncing with the AI model is paramount, ensuring that the words align convincingly with the image. The goal is a natural, believable story. Then it started thinking. Then after it actually analyzed the assets, it actually started thinking again. Then what it did was it says, you know what, I'm going to give the user a task. So it came back to me and it says, I'm envisioning the scene. It says, I've been picturing this adorable golden retriever puppy, blah, blah, blah. It's formulating the prompt. And then it came back to me and said, I need to approve the scope of work. So it actually defined a scope of work like if it was a consultant. And this is interesting, AI Johnny. It actually defined a scope of work and it says, I've scoped the project by analyzing the image of the puppy in the sweater. My goal is to animate the dog to speak a user-defined script then it actually gave me how the aspect ratio would actually be adjusted. It said it's going to be a 38 word script. They're going to read exactly this. The goal is to have seamless animation. It actually showed exactly how the scene's going to be set up. It did all of that. And it says, this is the video. It went on and on and on and on and on. And it says, you need to approve this. It's going to cost you 84 tokens. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a little impressed. You gave me a lot of information for me to actually approve work instead of me going over to Veo and generating 16 different images or 16 different videos. Now, the question is, which is actually faster, me approving the thing, reading all of that, or just hitting the button 4 more times? But that's a different story. But yeah, John, is this
Hitting the
crazy?
button, hitting the button 4 more times is easier than doing work. Because
Yeah.
there are some people out there that can't really do the work. But they can press a button.
Yeah, definitely. But what it is presented a really amazing project plan. I never actually seen that before in any of the other large language models. So I actually was grateful that it actually didn't use my 84 cents on 84 tokens on something that I didn't actually want. Does anybody have any questions with regard to what we're showing with Hedra so far? All right. All right, yeah, Johnny. I see you dropped
So
off
look how
far side.
fast it's rendering. Look how fast it's rendering the frames and then the hours that it saved. It doesn't just move it. It added movement and lip movement in the whole 9 yards. So are you, Junior, are you starting to wake up to the fact that we might be able to knock out 30-minute videos faster than you thought? I think you said it was going to take 100 years to get that.
Well, yeah, Johnny, at 84 tokens to generate this one 12-second video, it might shave off 5 years off of it. So it might get there 95 years.
Do you think game shows in the future, instead of people winning money, they're going to win tokens?
Oh, definitely. We're definitely going to win tokens. I actually saw a token gambling thing that happened when you run out of tokens. All right, yeah, Johnny, let's actually get to the word of the day.
What is that word of the day? Bum, bum, bum. Let's see. Time for the word of the day, which is going to be crucial for understanding how Hedra actually pulls this off. Today, the word of the day is one shot. We've heard that before, but we've never seen the definition. It's a technique where a machine learning model is given exactly one example or reference piece of data to guide its output.
Yeah,
So
exactly,
I bet
Johnny.
I can figure out what two shot and zero shot is.
Yeah, Johnny, I definitely love where you're going with this. So as AI Johnny mentioned, so we've seen zero shot multiple times. We've kind of explained zero shot. You don't need to provide any background information, but our word for the day is one shot. So because we're doing one shot is exactly what it sounds like. It is you provide one example of what you want the thing to look at, and then it will actually learn how to actually respond based on that example. So if you see the image that we actually have here, we give an image of the dog, right? Now this is not the image of the dog, but if you get the concept is you take the image of the dog, you feed it into the large language model, and that large language model will be able to generate the dog that looks very, very close to the image that you grounded it in. Now, guess what, guys? If you give it only one, it's called one shot, just like AI Johnny is saying. Obviously, AI Johnny, if I gave it two images, that would be called
Oh, show's on.
Two-shot video. So I have a
exactly.
question for you. In
Ah,
VO, we make videos where you can upload a frame, right? Very similar to what Hedra's doing. You can put in text, it'll do it in Flow. In VO, you can also add a beginning frame and an end frame that may or may not be two-shot, I don't know. But you could also add what they call ingredients. Add one picture, two pictures, three pictures, and say, I want a video with this man and this car and this flower pot, and it'll make it. Are these examples of 1, 2, and 3-shot videos?
yes. So, one-shot prompting is if you give it one piece of reference data, doesn't matter what it is, that's related to what you want, that by definition is one shot. So if you actually say, I want my frame to be started with this, you are doing one shot. If you actually then provide two examples, then that is two shot. But don't tie the start and the end frame specifically as two shot, because you're actually doing two different examples. So what you really want to do is you're saying, hey, here's an example of what I want. here is two more examples or three more examples, 5 more examples. Again, I don't know if there's really a 20,000 shot thing, but you can get the point. If you pass in one example, it's 1 shot, 2 shot,
I
three
get it.
shot, 4 shot. All
And
right.
these shots are not limited to images. It could be sound, it could be text,
That is
right?
correct. That is correct. So if you actually
Okay.
go over to Gemini and say, I want you to follow this example, and you can use, say, this is my writing style. This is my writing style. This is how I write. It should start out with, hello, sir, madame. It has nuances of how I put commas or whatever it is. If you give it one example, it will figure out based on that one example what your style might be. But you can imagine if you were to give it 2 examples, it will be better at figuring it out. If you give it 3 examples, it's even better. So my sweet spot for anybody who's actually trying to replicate something is you usually want to give it 3 examples. And believe it or not, VO is actually blocked at 3 examples if you want to give it as a reference image. And usually is you want to get one of the front of the face, one of the side of the face, and the other side of the face or the back of the head. So 3 images usually is enough to actually grow in something. All right, guys. Does anybody have any questions on the word of the day? All right. Yeah, Johnny, let's go out to the killer features.
Killer
So,
feature number 1. Let's see where we at here.
yeah.
All right. How we can make Hedra stand out in a crowded audio to video space. Let me take the first one.
Yep.
The talking head specialist. 2 weeks ago, we looked at Google VO for cinematic drone shots. VO is terrible at keeping a face consistent while reading a 60-second script. Hedra is just the opposite. It locks the face pixels and only animates the expressions, making it the king of the talking head format. That's a pretty bold claim.
Yeah, definitely. So what these large language models are actually doing is VO is a language model only for generating video. It actually generates sound as well, but it's not meant for sound independently, but video with sound. And what we're realizing is that because they're capping the lengths of these videos, somebody has to do the stitching to try to piece them together. So VO only does 8-second maximum. We see that they also did release 6-second and 4-second versions that you can actually do shorter videos, but not longer. So they're actually AI Journey. They're going in the opposite direction of where you want to go. So VO actually released 6 and 4-second videos now. But if you want to do something like a talk show host, or if you want to actually do something like a little bit more amazing, you have to be able to stitch it perfectly because those cuts, people are really, really good at seeing those cuts. And because of these seeing cuts, Hedra is really good at actually continuing the actual motion between scene 1 and scene 2 if the speech is actually pretty long. What about the next
Did
one?
I just hear you say that VO is now doing 6 and 4-second videos instead of 8-second videos?
So they've allowed now 4 and 6-second videos. So they're going in the opposite
But you
direction
can
now.
still do 8, right? You can still
Of
do 8.
course, of course, of course, of
So
course.
take a step back. So if you can do a 6-second video or a 4-second video to your liking, and VO knows what your liking is, and it makes these things awesome. And then now you have to go through the human process of saying, okay, let me go back to the script and let me grab the next 6 seconds, and then grab the next 6 seconds. If I, as a human being, can tell it to make the next 4 seconds and the next 4 seconds and the next 4 seconds, and I, as a human being, can stitch those all together, then why on earth can I not just tell some other software, open up VO, make 6 seconds, then make the next 6 seconds, then make that, and then show me the first hour? And then I'll tell it that this one, and this one needs tweaking, and it should go back and refix those segments. Why isn't there a stitching tool that will use VO as a like a sub tool and make me longer videos?
Yeah, there's lots of these tools. So Hedra probably does it. Hedra is probably using, because I noticed Hedra use C-Dance for this particular video. So it's probably going to be too expensive. So the problem is cost. So if I generate you 40 10-second videos, that's 400 seconds, and you need to change out 50% of them, you've just wasted a lot of money for these companies that are subsidizing these text to video models. So unfortunately, being able to stitch it, they want you to actually have approval. So Hedra's direction of telling me, the user, first, I'm going to spend your 84 tokens, but you need to approve this script first, I think is actually a better way. So I think the sweet spot will be, these are the scenes, and you need to approve every single 8-second video in the scene before I hit the generate button, because I'm going to take your money no matter what. So I think that's the way they're probably going.
What was the budget for Titanic?
I don't know, maybe $1 billion or something. I can't remember. No, it made $1 billion. Yeah, it made $1 billion. I think the budget was maybe $100 million or something like that.
It's a lot of tokens, man.
It's a lot of tokens, exactly. All right, yeah, Johnny, what's the last killer feature here?
Is that the unrestricted character generation?
You are correct.
Unlike older tools that require a perfectly front-facing photo, this is cool. Hedra's vision models can understand stylized art, cartoons, animals, and paintings, mapping the face perfectly. I have a good side and a bad side. My good side.
Love it, yeah, Johnny.
If they can make my bad side look like my good side, is my guess with this new feature.
You can make
What's your good side?
Every side will be your good side.
What's your good side?
All sides are good. Yeah, Johnny. All right, check this out, guys. So built-in text-to-speech, we actually forgot one. So the built-in text-to-speech, if you notice, when the dog was speaking, you don't need a fancy microphone or an audio file. Hedra's Agentic Workflow connects directly to text-to-speech models. You don't have to type in a script. You just type in a script, and it handles the audio generation and the lip syncing simultaneously. So we've actually seen this in text-to-video models like Veo and CDAN. So this one's actually not as impressive. What would have been impressive is if you say, for example, you wanted to line up some random audio with the picture. That would have been also a little bit more impressive. So yeah, I think they do that. So you know what, we have to try that, if to be able to actually upload the image and have it lip sync perfectly. I think they actually do that really well. All right, yeah, John.
I wasn't overly impressed with the lip syncing of the dog. It was more like a puppet or a ventriloquist doll.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Let me see.
It's not bad.
Yeah, let me see it again. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. Oh, audio.
Today, we are taking this flat, air. Welcome to the Airhead Institute. Today, we are taking this flat, boring picture and bringing it
Not
to
bad.
life using nothing but advanced AI models. Are you ready to see what the future looks like?
Not bad for a dog, yeah, Johnny. I think it's not bad. All right, so check this out. So let's go to the cons.
Okay. I'm working on two things at once here, brother. Let's see. The cons today are the blank canvas confusion. As we saw, opening the app, and just seeing a text box that says "Start something new" can paralyze beginners. Sometimes you just want a simple upload the image button, not an open-ended conversation with an AI agent. It's a stylistic con, but it's a con nonetheless. And I get you have to handhold people.
Yeah,
warping.
Yeah, so the thing I mentioned on Hedra is they recognize that you're going to burn through your 84 tokens, right? And the thing is, because it went through this long conversation, I found it rather unique. I just don't know if I was going to burn through a lot of tokens, I would want to approve it before it generates it. But it's a lot of time wasted. So you have to make that determination. Is it worth burning all the tokens for this trying? Or do you actually want to just read it and approve it first? So it depends on what your budget is and what you can actually you can actually be okay with actually burning. So if it was me and if money was no object, I would not want to see an approval and tell me how you're going to generate it. But if I'm price conscious, definitely this I think is a really great model to solve that problem. But it is a con.
Background warping. While the face looks great, the inference process can sometimes cause the background of your static image to warp or melt slightly as the head moves. We've seen this before.
Definitely, definitely, definitely.
And generic voices. While the built-in text-to-speech is convenient, the voices can sound a bit generic compared to dedicated voice cloning software. You know what? All three of those clones are not biggies to me. So I give Hedra a thumbs up as far as a tool to play with.
Definitely, definitely. That is. It's like having a
Like
brilliant
having
intern, AI Johnny. They can actually do amazing work. But if you give them confusing instructions in a chat box, they'll confidently bill you the wrong thing, and they still bill you for the time. So that's the one thing that Hedra does kind of, prevent you from going down the bad path. So I do really like this tool. Uh,
my grandmother used to say to me when I was wasting water or leave the light on, she would go to me, penny, penny, penny. I wonder if I'm going to be telling my grandchildren, token, token, token. I bet
Definitely,
I will.
you're wasting tokens. All right,
Yeah.
yeah, Johnny. What do you think of the pricing?
Well, like everything else, there's a dabbler. You get daily allocation of free credits to play with. That's what I recommend starting with. The catch, you'll have to watermark your video, and the generation sometimes might be slightly slower. Slower, I'm used to. Watermarks, I'm used to. Have at it. What about the paid tiers, brother?
Yeah, so here's the one thing. So you mentioned the free tier, and the thing that so if you're a dabbler and you just want to play around with it, Hedra did something that I didn't like, and I want to point it out here so people pay attention. So if you notice here, when you actually look at the pricing for Hedra, yeah, Johnny, what do you not notice? You just mentioned a free tier, but what do you notice, or what do you notice that's not present on the actual pricing page? I don't see the free tier, right?
Yeah, I don't see the free tier.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's really confusing. So a person who actually, may be interested in actually trying Hedra, they may say, well, there is no free tier, but there actually is a free tier. It's actually it's hidden. So what they want you to do is they want you to sign up, get into the free tier, and then automatically turn on billing. So pay attention, guys, to when you actually sign up for these applications for free, that you don't automatically get into a billing monthly cycle after a certain amount of time, because they actually don't tell you that there is a free tier. Okay, so pay attention to that. So um if you're a side hustler, and they do have a creator tier. So the paid tier is, $15 or $30. Depends on where how much you want to actually generate, how many videos you want to generate. 1,500 credits is $15. 5,400 credits is $30. So you practically get almost 4 times the amount for double the price. So definitely, if you're actually interested in, throw some money at the creator, because the creator tier itself is probably worth it, if you're going to be spending that amount of tokens. And obviously, if you're really, really, really into the pro tier, it's $75 a month, gives you a whopping 14,400 credits per month. Now, one thing that I didn't also notice is that none of these credits roll over month to month. So keep that in mind as well. All right, so let's get to the deeper dive.
Hey, I did notice that when you're logging in, it makes you check off some things like you accept the things. You also have to check a thing that says you're 18 or older. Did you know? Did you notice that?
I did. I definitely did.
So that's worth noting.
Yep.
All right, deeper dive. Ready, everybody? Plug your ears, because this is where AI Junior talks about API keys, Pythons, and all kinds of stuff. Some of which I understand, some of which I'm just glad to be exposed to. So, Junior, what's under the hood? What advanced or really technical things are possible that I should know about now?
Yeah, so yeah, Johnny, I love that. We'll talk about definitely, snakes and Python and all those things. But anyway, so let's get into the weeds, guys. So I know we mentioned a little bit more technical things. So I want us to really understand this latent space manipulation, right? So when you actually upload a single shot prompt, or you're actually uploading an image, it's actually creating an embedding and actually manipulating all the data points for that into a multi-dimensional graph, right? Known as latent space. So based on that vector mapping itself, it actually figures out where the face lies in a multi-dimensional array, which is why you can actually be able to take that face and actually look at it from the side, look at it from many different angles. So you take one image and it actually figures out what the 3D version of that face looks like. So it's actually pretty sophisticated when you take that one image and maps it for you. Now, the thing is, when you want to, for example, do lip syncing and moving your lips, it needs to now look up at trained data of how a person's lips move when you say the word, say, for example, mother, when you have to purse lips together, or if you're making the TH sound. So it actually has to figure out what words you're saying to manipulate the actual image. No, the key thing that Hedra does that's really well is it uses GANs, a series of GANs. And GANs we've introduced in the past, but we're going to reintroduce it again today. So a GAN is a generative adversarial network. It's when you have two competing large language models going at it to say, you look good or you don't look good. And it's actually going back and forth and it says, hey, can you actually generate this video for me? Then it says the video still looks like crap. Go back to the drawing board. It then comes back and says, hey, you know what? I did a better job. It now looks better. Then it says, no, you still don't look good. And that GAN goes back and forth until it comes up with a reasonable says, you know what? It looks good enough for me. And for advanced users, there is an API version available for this. So you can actually use their API to actually pipe dynamic audio into the conversational LLM directly into Hedra, creating, if you want, a real-time interactive visual agent for your website. All right, AI Johnny, how many people that fell asleep just a while ago?
No, you covered it well.
Thank
What
you.
do you say we do some takeaways, something that people can use?
Of course.
So remember, like all the time, like all of our takeaways, we have an ethical thought of the day. So if you're going to use this tool, only use faces that you have the right to use, and never use this tech to deceive someone. Be responsible. Here are 3 creative business cases that keep that ethical thought in mind. 1, you can use faceless YouTube channels. You can bring your static logo to life to host your videos. So there's a way to not get sued for using a face. Your video is doing all the talking. Secondly, you can do dynamic ad creatives. You can A/B test 50 different scripts on the same ad image without ever picking up a camera. We talked about this yesterday. The idea is just because you made an ad that looks good doesn't mean it's going to perform. Make 2 or 3 ads and push them all out to 100 each, and whichever one provides the greatest feedback, use that one before you send it out to 1,000 people. And finally, interactive e-learning. Turn historical figures into talking instructors for your courses. So if you are a teacher or you are trying to teach anything, you can actually use historical features that have neuro association to them to do the teaching for you. And you can do all that with Hedra. What are some of the tech uses, Junior?
Yeah, Johnny. I actually want to point out that you actually brought up something important. So, you started out with the ethical uses of it, right? So this faceless channel itself, we're seeing this pop up quite a bit, and people are actually, creating a lot of faceless YouTube channels out there. And when we say the word faceless, it means that there are no humans actually doing it. It's just AI doing the actual channels. Now, YouTube has actually changed their policy quite a few times. So I don't think they've settled in on what they want to do, because their tools team are actually creating AI tools to create more AI videos. And unfortunately, their policy team is actually saying what you should be doing and what you should not be doing, especially with AI. So we're watching very, very, very closely. So keep in mind that, if you're doing a faceless YouTube channel, just try to see if you can actually inject maybe your face or some realism in there. So if something does change, you can make a claim and says, hey, actually, I am generating real content because I'm actually throwing my face in there every once in a while. So keep that in mind, guys. Just wanted to point that out. All right, yeah, Johnny, anything on that to add on that?
I think you covered the tech things good. I do have questions that are queuing up. Or do we have anything in the Zoom chat?
No, hold No, no, hold on, yeah, Jen. I was just actually hitting on your ethical portions. So the technical pieces. So first of all, the first thing you want to do is get to automated customer support avatars. So you can actually hook up the API to your RAG pipeline, so you can actually do a face-to-face deliver support answers to your customers. The next thing you can actually do is you can do game asset generation. So lip sync your non-playable character dialogue sequences in instantly. You don't have to wait for a voiceover actor. You don't have to actually go ahead and try to make your characters look like they're actually lip syncing or doing something else that is actually in a different language. And lastly is you can provide accessibility tools. So provide a visual lip reading aids alongside standard text to speech output for people who are actually hearing impaired. So these are actually really, really great examples. All right. Does anybody have any questions? As AI Johnny said, this is actually a just a taste episode. We actually, the hidden AI app showcase. So what do you guys think about Hedra? AI Johnny, you're on mute.
I'll tell you what Techie Tom thinks about it. He's
All
still
right.
confused. He wants to know why he would use Hedra instead of Google VO.
Yeah. I actually struggled with this when I was actually using Hedra. So trust me, I definitely understand the problem. It's like, why would I ever use this platform? And I definitely see that there is a reason if you want to be able to create a video longer than 8 seconds. So if you want to create a video longer than 8 seconds, you definitely need to use a tool that can stitch everything together, because you don't want to create multiple 8 second videos, try to get the frame from the last scene to the next frame and stitch it together in Canva. I definitely see the benefit of that. The next thing is Hedra is mainly trained for using a one consistent specialized character, which means that they're going to keep the character consistent the entire time. Now, VO does allow that as well if you actually provided enough images, but it's not going to be exactly the same save model every single time, because VO is going to throw away your image at every single prompt. So you have to keep adding the same image over and over and over. So there is some unique use cases if you're going to be using it. If those use cases don't fall in line, you're right. I don't see going outside of VO to actually do those things unless you have those specific use cases. So great question. Anything else, yeah,
Okay. Of
Johnny?
course, we use it. We use it because we teach all the tools here, not just one. But isn't it also more expensive to use VO?
So it depends on the tier you have. So if you're just so VIA actually came out, just last week they came out with an even cheaper version. They came out with a light, VIO Lite, and that VIO Lite is actually one. I'm gonna butcher this. I think it's 1/5 the cost or 1/4 the cost of their regular pricing tier, and it makes it even cheaper that you can even go down to be a 4 second video or a 6 second video. So it's actually even cheaper to generate a video now with VO. So I'm actually quite impressed with the cost. Now, if you want to do something really long and amazing, then you're gonna have to burn through a little bit more money to generate those videos.
Hey, I've got a coder's question for you. He's using an API and he wants to know what is the average latency between sending the text and getting the video back.
Yeah, so I can tell you that all these video models itself do not have, if you're looking for real-time latency does not exist because of a whole bunch of problems. So I think latency, you're going to have, thousands of milliseconds. So we're talking maybe, a 2 second, 3 second delay. So if you're looking for real-time communication with these dynamic models, I don't think you're going to get real-time latency, but you can get near real-time latency if 1 or 2 seconds is okay. I see Rita actually mentioned YouTube Create app, beta app has VO for free. You're absolutely right, Rita. So let me just bring that comment in. So what Rita is actually saying is the YouTube Creator comments itself has VO built in for free. So what I said earlier was there's a fight going on now between the policymakers of Google and the content creators of YouTube. So YouTube, if you guys know, is owned by Google, and Google owns Gemini. So what happens is you have YouTube wants to actually make content and make everybody happy, but Google also wants to make money. So what happens is if they actually are flooded the market with all these AI videos, then eventually the real videos gets, kind of lost, and nobody actually watches the real videos. So they're constantly fighting between the two companies. Again, it's not two companies, really one company, but they're constantly fighting to figure out what should be the policy to allow this AI and also make sure that people get monetized on the platform. So yes, you definitely have access to VO through different various apps. So thanks to Rita for bringing that up. Yeah, Johnny, any other questions?
Yeah, there's always one from the what wants to know about the future. Wants to know if this technology means we're not going to have human news anchors like you and me.
Yeah, Johnny, I can't wait for the day that we're actually, not, required to actually sit in front of a camera, with makeup on and lights and everything, and just having AI do everything for us. That day is definitely coming. So again, I think that day is definitely coming sooner rather than later. We're seeing a lot of AI faceless videos on YouTube of being hosted by doing a bunch of things. Again, it's actually really, really great content if you actually like that stuff. But again, one of the things that we taught on the previous shows is the human reaction itself, and the spontaneous human reaction is actually really intricate to building a community and building that relationship, because I do think that long-term relationship between humans is the only thing that we're going to have once AI is able to do almost everything. So um
The newscaster doomsday may be coming, but it's not here yet. So time for the news. We have some massive breaking stories from this week. Apple overhauls Siri with on-screen awareness and Gemini integration. Apple officially announced a reimagined AI-powered version of Siri that acts as a fully context-aware assistant. Not only does it feature seamless cross-app integration and the ability to see exactly what's on your screen, but Apple is also partnering with Google to run Gemini under the hood via private cloud compute. I know you've got something to say about that, Junior.
You're absolutely right. So I'm quite disappointed in Apple, and I'm disappointed because Apple's almost always, innovating, and they're always a step of everyone in terms of, hey, we'll actually look at the the landscape and see exactly how we should actually move forward. And Apple, they did a really good job with Siri when it came out. I'm gonna guess 5-10 years ago, something like that, and it's just gotten really bad. And now we're in 2026 and Siri is still horrible. So the point is, they've now partnered with Gemini, and they've signed a long-term deal, and they're going to actually overhaul Siri with a lot of the Google Gemini's features. Now, it's actually interesting that Apple actually partnered with their competitor, right? So you should realize that things must be really bad for Apple if their mortal enemy, Google, they've partnered with them and signed a multi-year deal to actually use their AI in everything. So that's actually pretty impressive that Apple's able to actually humble themselves and do that and take a big loss here. I think they've given up on all their local models. I haven't seen any news with Apple, but they're usually secret. But yeah, I'm disappointed with Apple that they just didn't innovate on the large language model space. So they're the only competitor that has the money to do it, that actually has not done it at all. Even Facebook is actually doing it, but not doing it well, but they're trying.
Let's see if Google can disappoint you just as much. Google launches Gemini for Mac with live voice mode. Google has officially rolled out its dedicated Gemini app for Mac users, bringing deep, real-time voice conversations directly to your desktop environment. That seems friendly enough.
Yeah, what's interesting, yeah, Johnny, is I actually installed, the moment that this news broke, I actually installed the Gemini app on my Mac just to play around with it, and I realized Google's actually gonna be killing it. What they've done is a really great job is they've actually brought in a desktop app onto the Mac which now can potentially tie to the actual things on your machine. And Google already knows everything about you, so I can only imagine what features they're gonna do. They actually updated their agents feature, and there's some really cool things that have you actually accessing your emails and doing things and asking you if you need permissions before I actually send out an email. They put it in your draft folder for you, and all of this done with Gemini. And I'm actually quite impressed with what Google's actually doing with their AI stuff.
I'm not worried that Google's going to know every single thing about me. God knows every single thing about me. Shout out to Thursday nights. Hey, Anthropic rolls out Claude Opus 4.7 for complex workflows. Anthropic has officially launched Claude Opus 4.7, an upgrading model pushing software engineering and file system memory. It operates like a collaborative AI agent team designed to reliably execute long-duration tasks with minimal human input. Maybe that can chop up some of our videos for us. What a show!
I can tell you.
Oh, go ahead, buddy.
I can tell you, yeah, Johnny, that Anthropic is just killing it. You know, I think it's surprising that they were a nobody just 3 years ago, and they're probably the number 1 and number 2 large language model now, and I'm really impressed and proud of Anthropic. So super happy for those guys over there at Anthropic. All right, yeah, Johnny.
I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna reach out to my high school history teacher and ask for his permission to use his photo so I can type in the periodic table and make him rap to it. Hey, Hedra, we know you're watching. Our students are hungry to master your software. If you want to partner with Airhead Institute, ask us. Join us tomorrow, Friday, for the Biological Upgrade Series. We are talking about the bionic human Neuralink and prosthetics, of course, and exploring lab-grown organs, brain chips, and hardware, bringing the gap between wetware and software. You don't want to miss that. And now that I have $6 million, maybe I can become the $6 million man.
Exactly.
Over to you, Junior.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Remember, AI classes are completely free. And if you want, you can ask questions in our AI office hours on Wednesdays if you're a pro member. Don't forget, because today is a Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We have Shauna's Bible study. Shout out to Shauna on the call. Thanks, AI Johnny, for that. So make sure you actually check that out tonight. As always, sign up for a free account at www.airheadinstitute.ai. And we'll see you guys tonight and also tomorrow. Catch you guys later. Bye.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead after-school program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.